No. No slash. We're going to keep going. More waiting.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of verbal parameters.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. How is everybody? Good morning. Oh, I'm absolutely stuffed. But we've got to be up. We've got to stay awake. So what better chance to get back into a little bit of Star Citizen with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, rocking his sweet, sweet duds for a little bit more naffing about and some discussions on second edition. I'm so tired. It's so boring at work right now. I'm waiting on my my new ID to arrive, and until that arrives, I can't sign into any tugs or forklifts or anything, so I'm doing one of the most boring jobs, and it just drains the energy out of you. I'm someone who likes to keep busy, and it just drains you. How is everybody? I hope everyone has had a wonderful day and is having a wonderful evening, or had a wonderful evening and is about to have an amazing day. We are, obviously, once again, back with Argo Hurston. Let's get a little bit of music here on the background. How is everybody? Slash, my friend, how are you? Fine for taking my goddamn time. I take my time. Sexy Potatoes, how are you, my friend? Stuffed with Timmy's? No. I'm just tired. Oh boy, Commander Alice, how are you? Joining us on Twitch as well. Slash, everything went very well in the UK. Thank you so much. It was a lovely time. I spent a bunch of time with my family. Obviously, I was there with my family the whole time. Just spent a week at my sister's place near Crouch End. And I put that photo up on Discord of me in front of the Crouch sign. Boy! And then at the end of our time there, Charlotte and I, the ninja, went to Harry Potter studio tour, which was absolutely incredible. Before we go too far, we need to get something out of the way. What is that sound, ladies and gentlemen? Can anyone else hear it? I don't know what it is. Oh boy. I think the Tim Tam Slams are getting a little bit old. You think you left the car window, Slash? You better go check it, mate. You better go check it. Ladies and gentlemen, we start every stream here at Crouch After Dark with a Tim Tam Slam. Sometimes it's a big ordeal, sometimes it's super chill. Today is going to be super chill. We obviously all know what it is. It is a biscuit. 2 chocolate biscuits with a little bit of chocolate in the middle. And that's all coated in more chocolate. We're going to bite off the opposite corners of this biscuit, and it's going to expose the inside, allowing it to act like a straw. I know it's hard to believe. And then we're going to use our biscuit straw to slip up some of this hot chocolate, which really at this point in time should be coffee. I'm so tired. It's going to melt the biscuit, turn it into a gooey mess. It goes in your mouth, and it's absolutely delicious. I was thinking about the Tim Tam Slams the other day. I used to take Tim Tams every Thursday to work. I'd take 8 packets of Tim Tams and put them on the little desk there near the coffee area for people to treat themselves. I'd write a little note, and I did that every week for a year and a half. And I haven't done it once this year. And do you know how many people have asked me, what happened to the Tim Tams, Viv? Nobody. Not one person. which got me thinking about the Tim Tam Slams here at the beginning of Crouch After Dark, because I will admit, as much as I do enjoy the Tim Tam Slams, and it was a wonderful little gimmick to start the channel off, it has prevented me from streaming sometimes when I really wanted to stream. But I don't have any Tim Tams, and the shops are closed, or they're not open, or I don't want to go to the petrol station and pay 3 times the prices I would for a packet of Tim Tams that I would at the supermarket. And so I haven't streamed. So I've been thinking about it. Alicia, ADS jacket? What is an ADS jacket? It's in your hangar but not in game. Kind of disappointing. What's an ADS jacket? Is this something that we're going to have to look into? What is an ADS jacket? Robert Space Industries. Time to visit the pledge store. Let's have a look. Shop. Pledge store. It's a new jacket for subs related to new areas in 4.2. It's a sub item this month. Okay. So we might see that then when 4.2 goes live. Slash wants the Tim Tams to go. So I've been thinking, right? We had a bit of a discussion yesterday morning about second edition of A Life Uncharted, and I'm really very keen to get rid of the imagination gameplay that we currently have in the current version of A Life Uncharted. You know, those errands, basically. You know, these things here that we had in the original version. Are there any tasks here? No, but if there was, what's the task? And it would simply, give us, we're either going to get a quantum location or get paid some money. Okay, I'm going to get paid 308 credits if I go to Vantage Rental's office and pretend to do something, and then go to Perimeter Gate 2 to the garages and pretend to do something. I'm really keen to get away from this imagination gameplay. So I'm not going to incorporate this now in the second edition. But we still need to somehow utilize the locations. One of the big key differences between your typical Zero to Hero run and A Life Uncharted is the restrictions to the Mobi-Glass and the unlocking of the Star Map. Not being able to do contracts whenever you want to be able to do them, and not being able to go anywhere you want without first having discovered that location. They're the two big things. As we went through yesterday, and as is currently written in the V2 rules, it's not recommended to start with a disabled ship. It's not recommended to start with $0. Because of some of the things that I'd written into, my first draft of the second edition, requiring you to have some funds. And given that it's quite difficult, well, not difficult, but, it would just be easier, nicer, cleaner to start with a fully enabled ship. How about a few challenges instead? Kill an MRT in a prospector and such. Well, that requires me to have first, Alice, leveled up my bounty hunting to MRT status. And that... I mean, I can hardly hear these notifications. Can you guys hear them?
Welcome to the After Dark Slam Squad Sexy Potatoes Roll. Enjoy the Tim Tams. /2 gifted a tier 1 sub to Sexy Potatoes Roll.
/ you're a legend.
25 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, / gifting out tier 1 sub to Sexy Potatoes over on the old Twitcheroo. What a legend. Thank you, mate. Appreciate the support. Legendary effort. The Sexy Potat. And that would, of course, then require me to have a prospector. So I had thought, if we jump back into A Life Uncharted V2, we had these mission givers, right? These task givers. The what was it? 8 main areas here, specifically in Lawville, right? The L19 Hab office, the administration office, the hospital, Constantine's office, and then these 4 locations at the spaceport: customers information, lost and found new deal, and the Vantage Rentals office. Again, some of these are in here from the perspective of unlocking, game features, like the ability to rent ships, like the ability to buy ships. Well, these 2 specifically, because everything else is, they're just the 2 additional game features. So instead of having these as an area that we'd go to and then subsequently check to see, are there any tasks in this location, and we do this ridiculous imagination run around, that I'd still use these locations as a point to go to, again encouraging a little bit of moving around these wonderful places they've created in the game for us. But instead of doing these imagination things, it would send us on a contract. And so that way we could go to these different locations, and sometimes there'd be a contract available and sometimes there wouldn't. And so then we'd move on to the next location. We'd go to the Customs and Information Office and check, is there any contracts here, any work, any way that I can build some rep here on Hurston. And that gets rid of the imagination gameplay. Now, just as the stream was booting up, I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to go to the admin office and sell some gems and stuff.
Before boarding.
Oh, see, for example, we have Vantage Rentals, which gives us the ability to rent ships. We have New Deal, which gives us the ability to buy ships. Again, we're on Lawville, right? And this system is, it's designed around Argo. And no one's specifically excited about Argo being around, and so they're just not going to allow him to buy a vehicle, right? Even though they want to sell vehicles and stuff, Argo's a different case. They're kind of like, well, Argo, you're a bit of a pain in the ass. We don't really like you. You're going to have to prove yourself to us. And so from the perspective of selling gems and stuff, the TDD need to build some rep with Constantine before he allows us to use the TDD. So as I go to each of these locations and check, is there anything that you guys need me to do, it can then just give us, for not paying attention to the game to make sure you don't miss your stop again. We haven't missed any stops. I got on the wrong train yesterday. So instead of that imagination gameplay, and to get us straight into using, the Moby-Glass and going out on missions, we'd use those locations as a quest giver point. We'd go to, the hospital, and there may or may not be any activities there. If there was an activity, then we can go ahead and do it. If there wasn't, we'd go to the next location and go and check, is there any activities happening here. That way we can get rid of this wretched, ridiculous imagination gameplay. Which, honestly, let's be honest, nobody really enjoys. The customs area. So, for example, the Customs and Information Office is just over here. I don't know when this door started being opened, but I've noticed in this last 2 patches this door is now open and you can actually go into the office here. We'd come into the Customs and Information Office. Whoa. How did my camera just spin around like that? Madness. Oh, it automatically spins around when I approach the counter? No. What? Atreyu's not active. He can't be doing anything. So we'd come to this office. Yeah, why be imaginative in this Space Lab Simulator? My immersion. Has anyone been playing Dune Awakening? I was looking at that the other day. G'day Jim, how are you my friend? Joining us on YouTube. You think CIG should open these doors, so if you want to roleplay you can. So here's the Customs and Information Office. So we'd come here to the Customs and Information Office. Now, one thing I'm really keen to have a look at and explore, and I did a little bit of research the other day on having, something pop up over the game. So obviously it has a transparent background, so we can still see the game, and we can make, I can make my own version, so to speak, of the Moby Glass. And I didn't do a huge amount of research into it, but I did a very quick Google search, and apparently there are some, tools that you can use to see how, to have things pop up, like an overlay, over the game. Anyway, so we'd come here and we'd check. Are there any missions available here? Sexy Potato, you're not interested in June Awakening? Else you're going to see how it goes. Funcom make great games, but they end up free to play and bought, then gutted. I mean, Secret World. Secret World was great. I really enjoyed Secret World. Was it Secret World? I can't remember. Jim, you're playing it? So we'd come here, and it would either say, I had thought that maybe I might make each of the locations specific to some of the contract types. So if I came to Customs and Information Office, it would only say give me, collection missions or salvage missions or something. I'm not sure. Maybe that's, unnecessary. I'd come here, we'd hit some sort of button, either in the spreadsheet or on the overlay. Are there any tasks here? There are currently no errands available at this location. Okay. Let's go up to New Deal. You like June, Jim? It's got great crafting and base building. Out of curiosity, where are the bathrooms at Lawville? If you ask Argo every corner, excuse me, my friend, Argo would never be involved in any sort of public urination. Are the bins and plants not toilets? Here's a toilet right here. Oh, looks like someone's killed the New Deal representative. Let's have a look where the mission giver is. At the New Deal front counter. Okay, so again we check. Are there any tasks? Okay, so this is the first thing, right? In the current version, it gives us, 3 errands to get done. In this case, it'd either say yes, there's a salvage contract available, or there's a mercenary mission available, or something like that. To do that, I simply need to put all of the different mission types into a list, and then we can have that script look through that list and randomly pick one from that list, and then I can give a nice little message here that says, yes, we'd really appreciate help with this thing. So for the sake of the gameplay, let's say it's given us a a hauling contract, right? Now let's pick a mercenary contract. So we can reduce some overpopulation. Combat Gauntlet. Gillies Flight School. Number 1. Here we go. Let's do this one, yeah? Let's accept this offer. Let's move on. We'll go do this one. So instead of doing these silly little errands around the place to start earning some reputation here at Lawville, again, we need to be able to somehow restrict our access to the Moby Glass and to the star map. And so I'm thinking I might, when I start, obviously we have the location for Hurston. We have the location for Lorville. And we have the location for Lorville's planetary, orbital space station that's in geosynchronous orbit. So we have those 3 locations unlocked. So we can get to Hurston, Lorville, and Everest Harbour. And then to be able to unlock any further locations, we need to start building, a reputation. So that we have some sort of method of being able to unlock the star map. Either randomly or by choice. Now in the instance where we're just starting out and we're going around Lorville, like I said yesterday, once I've got the base idea, structured out properly, I can expand that out into the other landing zones. If in the event that an activity or a contract sends us to a location for which we don't have we haven't unlocked that on the star map, then we would have temporary access to be able to do that activity. It just wouldn't be saved in our quantum drives, oh dear Lord, data banks, so we wouldn't be able to just return back there whenever we wanted. We'd still have to unlock that location. Ghillies, Gauntlets and Flight Schools makes sense from a dealership, as it's like getting your license. It's so good. That's true. Alright, let's go do this one. That way we can start, immediately getting out and about doing things. Now, at the moment, my reputation with whichever guild is responsible for this activity... Who was it? My reputation with whichever guild is responsible for this mission is low. It's a mercenary contract, right? And so if we have a look here at my guild contracts, right? And my guild reputation. At the moment, I don't have, any guild rep. So I need something in my player's profile. I want to get my fingers in the right place. Guild reputation. So what do we have? We have collection missions. We have mercenary missions. Oh my word, Viv. We have salvage missions. 20 episodes and the man is still in the cutter. Yeah, I know, that's what I love about it. It's slow. It's painfully slow. It's brutally slow. And so I'll add in the other missions here. Rep points. So I need some way of being able to track my rep points, which at the moment is going to be 0, 0, 0. Let's go do this. It's too much. In the original Wing Commander Privateer, you had to buy maps to places. Also, there was a mission to give you secret maps. You download them from your nav computer. Yeah, well, I mean, with the CRG have spoken about that. That they're hoping to do that in the future, so... It's not a very efficient man for money, Mr. Argo. He makes about $1,000 a day. Look, he can make money sometimes. But, I'm not a huge fan of this millions of credits per hour sort of nonsense. I mean, to buy a new ship should really feel like an accomplishment. Not just, log on, play for a couple of hours, use some, glitch or just some poorly designed game mechanic to earn millions of credits and buy another ship every week. Argo is not a min-max man. I'm not a min-max man. Not a min-max man at all. Alright, let's head on out. See what Gilly's flight school has for us. You want a wobbly-headed geisha doll, Alice, for the dashboard in the Phoenix? More of that sort of stuff, man. Hello. No worky. Here we go. Rough and about. You accepted 10 hauling contracts that go from and to the same place for 50k a pop type thing. Well, I don't mind that sort of activity. Because, you know, that's just playing efficiently. I don't mind that. But again, from the perspective of those sorts of sandbox activities, there's restrictions in the rule set for
You're in the
when
right
a
place.
guild splits. He doesn't get the full
Stand by
amount of
while I
money.
deploy your targets.
Not this frickin' song, man.
Looks like you got inbound. Weapons free.
Now, I've totally forgotten how to fire my missiles and stuff. Let's go, Argo, in the cutter Rambler. One Rambler versus another. Cutter v cutter. We're not doing a very good job here.
All clear. Stand by for the next wave. It's gonna be even tougher.
The next wave? What do you mean the next wave? Whoa. There's two of them. Oh no, that's the other one that we didn't destroy. Little Pisces, hey? Hey! Argo is a gunner!
I got more coming your way.
Let's clean up some of this shrapnel. You gonna lurk for a little bit, are you, Potato? Well, thank you for chilling out with me tonight, man. I appreciate you, buddy. What is this, a prospector? Oh, his somehow keeps dropping the lock. Interesting. I'm amazed I haven't crashed into an asteroid yet. Let's go, Argo. Yes. Contract complete. Haha, we've earned some machine gun script. Now, I guess we could steal this guy's... Oh my god! Steal that guy's saddlebags. That was lucky. Jimmy, looking forward to being able to bring an Atlas up on the cargo elevator. I know, man. I know, it's going to be so good. Lag pip and knock its engines off. Then it's a stationary garden shed. I'm really not a great pilot, Alice. I'm not a great combat pilot. I don't even know what a lag pip is. I know that it's a thing, but I don't know what it is or how to use it. Is Argo enlisting into the UEE when Squadron 42 comes out? Nah. Furious Ruse. Fists of Fury. It's just annoying we can't keep our commodities after each patch. Gems are saved though. Yeah, I know. I've still got my gems. I know it's a thing, right? Hopefully at some stage it's not a thing anymore. Jim, you hate having to buy bullets at every station each time? Yeah. Her voice is kind of soft until you get excited about a kill. Then I'm deaf. Yeah, my processing's not on. I guess we can put it on because we don't have Mr. Atreyu on board today. So There's no compressor, which either, just equalizes my voice. You got a lot of scripture sitting there, Alice. Can't bring yourself to do the hand-ins. That's a session all of its own. All right, so we've done our little mission, right? Now, for this mission, the issue being, if we jump back into the Life Uncharted, right? So we've done the mission. Does it tell us what we got paid for the mission, or is that something we're going to have to remember? No, we got paid 20 grand to do this mercenary mission. Now, again, there's three things in a Life Uncharted that sort of differentiate it from, regular gameplay. One, not being able to use the Moby Glass whenever we want. Two, having to unlock the star map first to be able to travel around and go to new destinations to do things. What was the first one? Moby Glass, star map, and cash buck dollary dues. So contracts, sandbox activities, rock mining, all that sort of stuff, salvaging. And money. We really want to limit the money to make the gameplay, frustratingly slow. So in this instance, we started at Lawville. We went over to Customs and Information. There wasn't any activities for us to do, so we went over to New Deal. New Deal said, yep, go ahead, go and do this combat gauntlet training. We did that. We got paid some money. So there's two things here. One, the money, and two, the reputation that we earned for doing that back at Lawville. So if we go back to our locations, how much reputation am I earning for doing activities for these guys? Well, it's got to be the same, right? These locations are simply just here to keep us moving around Lawville to, find activities to do. So that whatever reputation we earn has to be the same. So that's just how we earn 5 rep. Well, there's two things here. The other thing is, one thought at a time, Crouchy boy. Reputation we're earning to be able to unlock new locations. The more rep we earn, the more locations we'll be able to unlock as we spend those reputation points to unlock new locations. It's basically us doing things for people in the area and them saying, yep, you're a nice guy. Here's another location we've heard about. So that unlocks our star map. The cash buck dollary dues, on the other hand, are managed by the guilds. So we've done this mercenary contract, right? It paid between 0 to 30k. It's a tier 1 contract. It normally would have cost us 6 guild points to do this contract. Guild points we earn by doing quests at locations. We haven't unlocked any locations yet. So we can't go ahead and do any of these quests because we don't have any locations that we've unlocked to go and find out if there's any quests available. The second thing is my guild rank. So as an initiate, I get 0, between 0 and 25 guild credits. I started this mission as an initiate with the Mercenary Guild. For that, the guild's going to take 60% of that 20k, and I'm going to get 40% of that 20k. Now, this here imposes the problem, right? Well, it's not really a problem. It's just something that I need to manage here. So, let's have a bit of a look. See, we need a calculator, right? So the guild's going to take 12 grand from us for doing this contract. We're going to earn 5 points towards our guild reputation, but they're going to take 12 grand. At the moment, that's just a number out of the air. Again, we're just theorizing, playing our way through, just trying to come to grips with how I want this system to work. So obviously we're getting paid the full 20 grand. I need to give 12 of it away. Now, we could, to make this really interesting, this does kind of rely... Well, actually, no, it doesn't. One thing at a time, Crouchy. Instead of sending this 12 grand to Crouch, I could send this 12 grand to somebody in chat, right? That would actually be fun and interesting. So as Argo plays through and is earning money and spending money and, you know, some of that's, instead of going to Crouch to bankroll the rest of Argo's adventures in this ridiculous rule set, I can send it off to people watching in chat. I think that's quite nice. But Slash doesn't get a chance to be involved in that. Oh, God. So I've paid my guild fee for the honor of being able to do this mercenary contract. Rude. I'm sorry, Slash. Alpha Rod, my friend, how are you? Welcome. All right, so we've done that contract, right? Now, at this point in time, we don't have anywhere else that we can go because we haven't unlocked anywhere else. So all we can really do is either head back to Everest Harbor. Let's head over to Everest Harbor, right? Just for the sake of, again, playing through. Oh, I'm not. Sorry, not sorry. Playing through, you know, the beginnings of this experience, so to speak. All right, so we'll head over to Everest Harbor now. In the current version of the game, in my quest log, or from my side quests, I end up with this quest log. And all of the quests that Argo has done will be in here. So he hasn't done a huge amount of work, actually, having a look at this. You know, we've done a handful of quests. A lot of them for Everest Harbor, some out at Edmond, a couple over at Pinewood. He really hasn't done a great deal, has he? In 20 episodes. He really hasn't done a great deal of much at all. So in this, I'm going to have some sort of log of these activities. All right, let's head on into the space station. Our first time, so to speak, visiting Everest Harbor in the second edition of A Life Uncharted. 12k. It's a lot of cruise lux. It is. Slashy, you feel like you're in an abusive relationship? I'm sorry, mate. All right, let's organize some landing. I want that RPG element, man. An RPG MMO, man. They're the best, man. I freaking don't want a sandbox MMO. That's what I don't want. Which is why we're creating our own RPG experience, right? In the hope, as I continue to puff on that pipe, that I will one day get the version of Star Citizen that I want to have. That's the wrong button. It's only worked like 3 actual shifts. I know, the whole janitor gameplay went out the window as soon as they got rid of med gowns. Can I has hangar, please? They won't go full sandbox, you reckon, Alice? Chris Roberts likes narrative too much for that. Yeah, well, I mean, we're still building the framework, aren't we? Well, we're not. CIG is still building the framework. Hangar request completed. Let's go. But it will be wonderful one day to be able to go to these space stations and landing zones and areas and go to mission givers and stuff like that to find things to do rather than, you know, just constantly opening up the Moby Glass and... Which is exactly what we're doing. We finished one quest, and to get another one, we've got to go somewhere. We can't just open it up and have another job. That, you know, hopefully will still be possible. You know, to get a job sent to you while you're out and about. Hello? How about a little bit of time to get into my hangar, please? Hangar request completed. Which hangar are we going into? You see, G needs to make the game more roleplay friendly. Here we go. Can we get into the hangar before they close it? And I have heard them talk about that before, how they want to sort of not get away from the Moby Glass, but you know, the main way in which you'll find activities and things to do won't be from the Moby Glass. They'll be through exploration and discovery, which is, again, the whole point behind A Life Uncharted and everything I've put into it so far is, you know, based on all the different sorts of things that CIG have spoken about in the past. All right, we need to go get ourselves something to eat, or something to drink at least. All right, welcome to Everest Harbour. Let's pay some landing fees. 500 credits to land. So these sorts of things, these expenses, at the moment, obviously, I have to remember about, you know, paying these expenses. And as a way of having a little bit of fun with Twitch chat, you know, people earning Tim Tams on Twitch as they watch, they can spend those Tim Tams to fine Argo for not following the rules. But obviously, I still need to remember every time I land somewhere, I need to pay 500 credits. And then as we can progress through the game, so to speak, and our character earns reputation, you know, we unlock perks along the way, such as, for example, as we've done already during the last 20 episodes, unlocked the ability to, you know, store things here at Everest Harbour, you know, unlock a habitation facility in this space station, you know, build our reputation with the local mechanics so we don't have to pay servicing fees for having our ship fixed and all that sort of stuff. Are we going to have a hangar fee in the future? Well, I would certainly hope that there would be, you know, different sorts of money sinks in the game. Or can I take this starter pad with me? It would be super fun to have as from a roleplay perspective. Nope. I can't grabs it. Disappointing.
You are fined 1
More
credit
fees?
for violation of the verbal morality statute.
Hangars will be both buyable and rentable from what I read. Yeah, you know, for example, I come to a new location and, you know, I've got to rent a hangar space. I've got to build my reputation with that area and eventually be able to, you know, buy my own hangar at that location. There's no such thing as free parking indeed, Jim. Okay, so if we go back to the list of locations, right? And instead of Lawville, we have a look at Everest Harbour. These are the two locations that we know. So here, these are the locations for the task giver. The Easy Hab. There's a little desk there in the foyer. At Easy Habs, there's the Kelto Medical Clinic. There's the 3 locations in the cargo centre. The Travellers Rentals Desk, the Logistics Desk, and the Interstellar Transport Guild Desk. And then we have in the Galleria the Admin Office. Slash, my friend. Thank you so much. Out of here with the quickness of a ninja. Is in there. Chop, cut, slice, vanilla. So let's head on to one of these locations and see what they have, right? So we are in require praise and being called a good boy. Good mod. Good mod. Does Argo own a mining helmet? Required purchase. What is a mining helmet? He does not own a mining helmet. So at the moment, the way I've sort of envisaged reputation working is that it's sort of region specific or location specific. So we're building reputation at Lawville. If we go back and have a look at Lawville. Actually, we can just bring them both up. Why not? It's not a big list. We have Vantage Rentals there, right? Let me just put a little mark here because we need some way of being able to identify that we've done an activity for New Deal, right? We want to build a reputation with Vantage Rentals so that we can rent ships from them. But there's also a place here up at Everest Harbour where we can rent ships. The Traveller Rentals Desk. Oh, they have a hard hat with goggles. Ah, yeah, right, you're right. Yeah, the clothing. So I'm going to have to earn rep here at Everest Harbour. Like I said, I envisage rep being locale-based. Run! Quickly! Quickly! Move with speed, my friend. Let's go to the medical clinic. So, for example, here, the medical clinic, I can't use this medical facility until I've, unlocked that perk by completing a certain number of tasks for them or, earning a certain amount of reputation with these guys. And I do that by completing these sorts of tasks. Now, in the first version of A Life Uncharted, it was all imagination gameplay. So we'll come here, we'll check with these guys. Do they have any tasks available? Nope. Bummer. Okay, well, I'll come back next time. Hopefully we can start building some rep with these guys and unlock the ability to use their medical facility. Again, they don't just provide services to anyone, and certainly not to Argo. He's a known delinquent, outcast by the Hurston family for stealing their name and putting Amelia through 3 years of suffering. All right, let's head on over to the cargo center then. Quest: flirt with the reception lady to see if she can sneak you in. Well, we're going to have some sort of disguises and stuff to, be able to get around some of these things, right? You have to have some of those things. All right, let's head on over to the rentals office. See if these guys have an activity for us. Now, we've sort of slowly started to shy away from the salvage contracts. But again, we do have the ability, certainly with these low-level salvage contracts, to salvage an arrow with a cambio, right? It's what we're going to have to do. It's what we're going to have to do. So do these guys have any tasks available? No. Bummer. Can't stop building rep with those guys. Now the logistics desk. What perk? So obviously with the Vantage rentals or the Traveller rentals, we unlock the ability to rent ships from these guys. And this is, I believe, where we can rent like a Cutlass Black and stuff like that. We can rent the Nomad, the Cutlass Black. I don't think we need to rent a Cutter because that's what we have. Hull A for, doing some hauling and all that sort of stuff. So I think we need to unlock both rental locations if we want to get into some rock mining. You know, we need to be able to rent the rock from Vantage and then from the Cutter here. Salvage arrows with the SRT and then use it to repair the Cutter so you don't need to pay for repairs. Indeed, you know, that's going to have to be part of it, right? You know, we want to minimize our expenses. And so wherever we can repair the ship with a Cambio, then we certainly should with the SRT. Okay, so obviously the Traveller's rental unlocks the ability to rent ships. The logistics desk here and the Interstellar Transport Guild. I'm thinking here up at Everest Harbour could be our base point for sandbox activities in the Hurston area. So the Interstellar Transport Guild, we wouldn't be able to do any commodity trading until we've built a reputation with these guys. The logistics desk here, these are the 3 locations here, right? Traveller's Rentals or Traveller Rentals, logistics. Why can I not say that word this morning? And the Interstellar Transport Guild. Maybe I can't use the terminals here. I mean, oh yeah, hang on, here we go. Because not only can I buy things from these locations, but I can sell things here at these locations. So maybe I can't use these terminals until I build a reputation with the logistics center. Transport Guild has a mission. Why else would he not be sat chilling in the chair browsing space TikTok? Let's go have a look. What does this guy have for us? I do. I need a task. Things are quiet here at the moment. There's only one task. So this response at the moment is giving us, 3 different responses. It's picking one of those responses at random or 4. Either there's nothing or there's 1 errand, 2 errands, or 3 errands. This is either going to be a yes or no response. Are there any tasks here? Yes or no? If yes, what is the task? And it's simply going to pick from the list of contracts. I'd like a room. Look at this bit of spaghetti code from, the previous iterations of the game where we've had mission givers to go to, and I'd like a room.
Sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Sorry, there's nothing I can do. I'd like a mission.
Nope. Can't do anything for you.
Nope. So this is part of what I'm talking about, right? This is the experience of going around talking to people and anyway, so this guy's given us a mission, right? Things are quiet, but there's one mission. What is the mission? And now it's going to randomly, choose one of these missions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's, in the meantime, just like we did when we were first going through the first drafts of A Life Uncharted, bring up our dice roller and we'll re-roll 6s. It's a 1. It's a collection contract. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just go up to someone while they're working and ask them to get a room with you. Why not? Why not? Now, obviously, in the beginning, if we accept one of these contracts, we're going to have to go around and try and find these sunset berries. They're very difficult to find out in the wild, sadly. So the only way that we're going to be able to do these is by going to distribution centers for which we don't have the coordinates. Cave copion horns. Again, we don't know the location of any caves. This requires a bunch of stuff from the Hathor missions. Tundra quasi-grazer eggs. So I guess we could fly around and find some tundra quasi-grazers. And find some Marek gems. So I guess, you know, there are some options which is good to see in this category, collection for the collection guild, or what I'm calling a guild, for us to be able to go out and just, you know, find some tundra quasi-grazers, find some Marek gems. Revenant pods. Karenite. Are there just any regular copion horns in here? Because these things, you know, as we're adventuring around and, you know, we start unlocking locations and we get access to loot boxes, you know, at mining outposts and stuff like that, we can start collecting all of this stuff, just like Argo used to do in the beginning. I've got one whole SCU of grazer eggs assorted, of course. Crazy. Crazy. All right, so let's tundra quasi-grazer eggs. Okay, so let's accept this contract. Wonder what happens if I track this. Is it going to take me to the location of some tundra quasi-grazers? I really doubt it. All right, so that's these guys. Did we check the logistics desk? Because we're going to have a limit, right? You know, we can't just keep checking and checking and checking. How do I manage that? Do I make it a time limit sort of thing? You know, I can only check each location every half an hour. If so, how the hell do I track that? Or do I simply make it, you know, each time I visit this location, I can check it? Shouldn't be anything stored here. Each location per visit, you reckon, Alice? Yeah, me too. When I've got a contract, so I've found a contract here back at the Interstellar Transport Guild. Let's mark that down. Can I now go to the other locations and check? Or once I've got one contract in a location, is that it? Again, we're trying to limit the amount of contracts that we get through the Moby Glass. We have already been to the medical clinic. We went to the 3 desks. So now can I go to the Galleria and check to see if they've got anything there? Or is it one contract per location, per visit, so to speak? Why the hell does Twitch have so many ads? I swear there's a way where I can set them just for every hour. Add length and frequency, automatic or manual. So we're getting 3 minutes of ads per hour. Run a 1.5 minute ad break every 30 minutes. Okay, so we should have had 2 ad breaks in if we've been on for an hour. I'll look a bit more into that a little bit later. The Clarentine ad might be useful for you though, Alice. You've got 2 lots of ads. Okay, so it's running 1.5 minutes of ads every half an hour. I think if I go back, so I can run 22 minutes and 30 seconds of ads per hour. Welcome to the shopping channel. Or I can drop it all the way back to 30 seconds. Let's drop it all the way back to 30 seconds. Again, we're not here to try and earn cash buck dollary dues from the old Twitch ads. I'm not really here to earn money at all. I'm not a streamer. It's not my job. And I truly appreciate the support that I've received from this wonderful community. It's been incredible. Okay, so... subscribers don't get ad slash. It's cheaper than getting tempted to buy a new car. Speaking of which, I picked mine up on Thursday. Oh, lovely. Little MG, hey? All right, so can we check every location? Can we check every mission giver in a location? Keeping in mind that the only locations that we can do this at are Everest Harbour and Lawville. Everywhere else will use the side quest system. And the side quest system will send us on these little errands, and as part of that, we'll earn local reputation and we'll earn guild credits. The quests, if we have a look at them, have a guild affiliation. These might need to change to collection if we ever get, you know, our freaking delivery missions back. Each of the side quests, and we've only got a handful here at the moment. This list needs to be significantly longer or bigger. Has a guild affiliation. So let's just call this collection for the moment, just to make it a little bit clearer. Mining. This is a sandbox activity for sanctioned activities, either for rock mining or prospecting. These are both salvage, mining related guild activities. Mercenary guild, salvage guild. I'm not sure where I've got exploration in here with a little asterisk. So as we travel around the open world, so to speak, we'll be picking up these side quests. And as we do these side quests, we'll be earning some cash buck dollary dues and some guild credits. And then we can spend these guild credits if we're out and about and we're not near, a location like Everest Harbour or Lawville, and we want to do a contract and we've earned some guild credits, then we can spend those guild credits to open up our Moby Glass and do a mercenary mission that might be worth 56 grand. It's going to cost me 10 guild credits, and then I can accept that. So from that perspective, I'm kind of tempted to say that, when I'm at a location, once I've picked up a contract at this location, that's it. I can't come and pick up a contract here. I've already picked up one contract. Now I need to go and do it. I can't then, for example, head up to the admin office, which is just above us, and go have a look and see if there's another contract available. A, from the perspective of restricting the use of the Moby Glass, and B, it kind of encouraging a little bit more exploration and earning those guild credits by doing side quests out there in the wilderness, and then using those guild credits I've earned through that side quest system to then accept more contracts in the Moby Glass. So for example, if I have in my pocket, 27 guild credits, then I can spend all of those guild credits to accept 3 or 4 different Moby Glass contracts. So restricting it to just one contract from the locations, Lorville or Everest Harbour, makes sense to me. Because it then encourages me to go to other locations and see, is there any quests available here? No. Is there any quests available here? Oh, yeah, there is actually. Go and get some freaking water bottles and, bring them back to us. That way I earn guild credits, and then I can spend my guild credits whenever I want. So let's get out of here. We've got a contract to do. We've got to find some tundra quasi-grazers. Oh, to do this, we're going to need bullets. We're going to need bullets. Let's go buy some rounds. Let's go buy some shells. Some bullets. The pizza shop has been out of stock since forever. I'm sure they have had a restock quest. I'm sure they have a restock quest. Oh, it's going to be so nice when we can eat pizza, man. Oh. Why did we get noodles when everyone's been asking for pizza? And they're like, nope, you can have noodles. You don't use bullets. Ship guns work. Ship guns work fine. This is very true. But, we like to be on the ground, man. Let's buy some rounds. 11 will do. Do they have any P6 rounds? 450 for 8 rounds. It's chunky. I don't know if I'm going to buy those at this stage. Oh, let's get out of here. Let's go put some rounds, some magazines in the ship's inventory, so we've got them with us. Tundra quasi-grazers. Now, at this point in time, the only location that we have access to is Hurston. So I guess we've got to go back to Hurston, right? And hopefully we can find tundra quasi-grazers on Hurston. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. But we're going to have to fly around and, find some quasi-grazers. Which might take us some time. And this is where, hundreds of points of interest in the game and the ability to unlock locations as you stumble upon them. Actually, we don't need that. We've got a hangar here. Would be very, very nice. Because, yes, if we do stumble upon a location, we will unlock it. But the chances of that happening randomly, so to speak, and not me just like, well, I can't quantum close to a location, can I? Maybe when we have the new quantum boost, I'll be able to. Hurston seems like a tundra type of place, given the nuclear winter. Well, Hurston actually has quite a number of different biomes. It's quite nice, actually, once you find new locations in Hurston. Like, it has very arid areas. Obviously, it's got areas just full of waste. And it's got beautifully forested, well, not forested areas, not like the forests on Microtech, but, bushland, so to speak. Areas of lovely greenery. It's obviously got a whole bunch of the rivers and stuff on it. What we're going to need is a backpack because I don't think I'm going to be able to fit that armor in my pockets, which is where a clothing satchel or a backpack or something like that you can wear when you've got clothing on would be very, very nice. Like a satchel, a tote bag, if you will. We'll pick up our 15 rounds, 15 magazines. We'll go for a bit of a fly around Hurston and see if we can find some either new locations. There's 108 caves on Hurston. I'm really disappointed, and I will be until we get the ability to be able to identify caves on our scanner. Right, let's go. We've got our 15 rounds. What would be nice is when I equip... Hello. And when I equip these rounds to the armor, like if I put these on the armor, right? And then I store this in the box, it's going to strip all of those off of the armor. It would be really nice to be able to, you know, whatever I've got attached to this core piece of armor stays attached to that core piece of armor when I put it in my cupboard. Let's go inventory. CIG are planning just that. Yeah, I know. I just want it now. I believe next patch it will keep it. At least if you switch armor, we'll switch with it. Oh. I don't want it to switch. You know, I want the armor. So this set of armor with whatever I've got equipped to it to be equipped to that set of armor. And so if I change to a different set of armor, it's got equipped whatever I had to that set of armor, not what I've got equipped to this one. See, and now it strips off all of the bloody ammo clips. Frustrating. Come on, CIG. Make a more development, hey? Make it a more development. So there's no way that I can sort of think of, outside of just remembering, to pay various fees, right? We landed here and we paid some landing fees, right? I can't think of anything that's going to, that I can either build into an overlay or have on a timer or have voice attack remind me. Again, I'm not using voice attack at the moment. That, hey, listen, you haven't paid your landing fees. Which is why I put that fine mechanic into Twitch, into the sound alerts on Twitch. But that really only works when people are actively watching the stream, right? And because we've got a small community here at After Dark, and I'm in the background for a lot of people, sometimes the fine system works well, sometimes, you know, it doesn't. I can't think of a way to build in something that reminds me. You know, I could imagine in a game, you know, when you land here, it would just go cha-ching, and it would take the money out of your wallet, and it would just pop up a little notification saying landing fees paid. having said that, I can also see, you know, having to go to the admin office to pay your landing fees. And if you leave without paying your landing fees, then the game fines you, right? It's come to our attention that you've left this facility without paying your fees. Consequently, we've fined you 5,000 credits. Alright, down to Hurston we go. Now it's nighttime, right? So we're just gonna have to pick. Oh god. I guess we can use the orbital markers to navigate around the planet. No. No worky. To find some sunlight.
No time to panic. Start panicking.
All right, we're just gonna have to fly under some main thrusters. Now that doesn't look like snow. I don't think there's snow on Hurston. They could just be really intense clouds along that mountain range, but maybe we'll head down to that mountain range because if it's anything like Microtech, the tundras sort of blend into the mountainous ranges. That's water? You think it's water, do you? Have you got any water? Bottle of water. Bottle of water. You guys got any bottle of water? Under the white is water. Alright, so we can try and aim for some of these brown areas or maybe some of these sort of greenish sort of areas. Let's sort of head into this brownish sort of area and see what it is. I don't have a bottle of water, mate. Sorry, governor. Governor. So until we can, until we get a quantum boost mechanic in the game, and until we start unlocking more locations, we're going to be spending a lot of time under main thrusters, which is going to cost us in hydrogen fuel, right? And time. Let's have a quick look. Let me log out of here. We'll log out of here. So Argo gets 5,000 credits to start the game, hey? You always get tired watching me slash? Totally not because of my bedtime closing in. Yeah, those school nights are tough, man. I'm already logged in. Oh, I'm not. Yes, I am. All right, let's have a look. at the subscriber store at this jacket, hey? It should be here in the store. Here we go, the ASD bomber jacket. And an irradiated Valakar diorama. We need that for the hangar! Oh, we don't get a picture of the front of the jacket, just the back. Yep, just the back of the jacket. Why are they so bad with this? You've got both, but the jacket isn't showing in your inventory. I'm sure when 4.2 launches, it'll be. Is the other one? Are you able to get the Valakar diorama up on the freight elevator? It's been many moons since you tried School Slash. That works, but you want the jacket to wear. Oh, interesting that that's available in the game, but the jacket isn't. Muted on purpose? No. Slash likes a muted crouch. I was saying, what's people's guesses as to whether they think I'm going to find some tundra quasi-grazers here. And I was also saying I'm pretty sure that we'll find regular quasi-grazers and desert quasi-grazers, and the only place we're going to find tundra is Microtech. Which means we may need to start 2nd edition, Season 2 of A Life Uncharted with the 4 main landing zones, the 4 planets, and the 4 orbital stations unlocked. Ramoyne, how are you, my friend? How are you? How am I doing this fine Tuesday evening? I realize it's probably Wednesday for you, though. No, it is... Yeah, Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday morning. I'm very well. Yeah, I muted myself because I was puffing on my addiction machine. Munacat joining us on Twitch. How are you? How's your day going today? It is well. We're naffing about with 2nd edition of A Life Uncharted, my custom not zero to hero to zero to hero rules, and the 2nd edition. You do be puffing on your addiction machine right now? Well, we've got an ad about to start. I'm going to snooze that just for a little bit. I can snooze it for 5 minutes, but then Twitch is going to get unhappy. It's our next lot of 1.5 minutes of ads in this. Well, actually, no, it should only be 30 seconds. It should only be 30 seconds because I've changed it, Twitch. Stop playing ads to everyone. We don't like it, and I don't want it. You can keep your cash buck dollary doos. So I am well. We are messing about, playtesting through some of the 2nd edition rules. of a life Uncharted, just to see how things work, start getting a grip with how I want the mechanics to work. We went up to Everest Harbour before, checked a couple of mission givers up there. Finally managed to pick up a mission from the Interstellar Transport Guild. And fittingly, they gave us a collection contract for some Tundra Copion. But at the moment, the only... So there's the desert quasi-grazers. So these brown areas are the desert then, hey? I've got a feeling we're going to have to go to Microtech. Which means that we are going to have to start with the 4 main planets unlocked. Because sadly I didn't see a mission, and I don't think there is one for desert quasi-grazers for the collection contracts for Reari. Which is a bit disappointing, right? Again, from the perspective of... I set up a button to turn this on and off, didn't I? Yeah, that's it there. From the perspective of those who are wanting to, restrict their gameplay a little bit and play a little bit more narratively, like we are trying to here in A Life Uncharted, there should be missions for Reari for all the different types of biome creatures. Am I going to get into the live stock trade? All this talk of quasi-grazers? Maybe. What are you saying there, Potato? Remember we had like a whole 30-minute talk about quitting? Who was talking about quitting? Oh, yes. About quitting my... what happened to quitting the addiction machine? Ah, yes, I see. Yes. We did. I was carrying on about being all healthy and stuff. So much for that nonsense. So here's some regular Copion. So this obviously isn't Tundra then either. Otherwise that'd be Tundra Copion. For which apparently we need to go to Microtech for me, which leads me to, what I was saying before. I don't think there's going to be any Tundra here on Hurston. He's too addicted, he forgot. Plus he's quite old. I am quite old. I'm feeling it in my old bones, mate. Gems. Glacocyte. On Hurston. This is what we want, but we have no geo. We have no geo. $4.2, we can buy the geos, right? I want to know what these gold rocks are too. Sometimes you see these rocks with this gold sort of colouring on them. Where's that? Wouldn't it be something if there was a gameplay loop where you had to move a herd of quasi-grazers from point A to point B and you had mini goals to reach along the way? Alice, you saw the geo for 90k, hey? That's going to have to be a purchase for Argo. Let's save ourselves some heartache. Let's turn that off. Does Hurston have any Tundra biomes. No, Hurston does not appear to have a tundra biome. Hurston, in the context of Star Citizen, is a fictional planet with a variety of biomes, including acidic, desert, and trash. Tundra biomes are known for their cold, harsh climates and are typically found in polar regions. No tundra. There is no mention of a tundra biome on Hurston, according to Hurston's biome guide. Hydration goals, feeding goals, copion killed goals, and herd number survival. That would be cool. You know how fickle luck is. As soon as you get a geo, there will never be another stone on Hurston. You've got your keystone paint ready for the geo when you get it, Alice. Let's have a look. What does the keystone paint look like? Paints. Keystone. Bit of blue and white, hey? I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, so this complicates the situation a little bit. If we go back into our contracts and we have a look at the offers for collection and we have a quick look through Heart of the Woods, all of these things are going to be difficult for us in the early game because we haven't unlocked any locations where we can find these in loot boxes. And until we can find these reliably and, you know, without too much heartache in the wild, we need those locations to be able to loot these from loot boxes. Certainly, specifically the distribution centers where these things are in abundance. Cave Copions, Junior Valakar, Marok Gems, Ranted Dung, we need Caves, Amiyoshi Plagues, Revenant Pods, Cave Copions. Okay, so there's nothing in here for regular Copions, which I'm assuming would be the mercenary one for reducing the overpopulation. And nothing for desert quasi-grazers and stuff, at least in the list that I'm looking at the moment. You can just see Crouch considering buying it. Oh, we'll definitely buy it in game, 100%. 100% get it in game. I'm not going to pledge for it, but we'll get it in game. 100%. Or are you talking about the paint slash? I don't know. I'm not really into paints at this point. Okay, so from the perspective then of a life Uncharted, and I don't mind it actually because it allows us to be able to move around a little bit more efficiently. Day one, wake up, have a functional ship, got a little bit of cash buck dollary dues, can navigate around my home city, can find tasks to do. And if any of those tasks require me then to visit one of the other regions, you know, Microtech or, you know, Crusader or whatever, I have those locations already unlocked in my star map. So I have my ship, I've got a little bit of cash, I've got the 4 main planets, their landing zone, and their orbital station unlocked to start with. They're the locations that we know. So as we've done, we've adventured around, we've done one mission already, we've picked up another mission. It requires us to find some tundra quasi-grazer eggs, and for that we can't find that here in our, for example, if we started on ArcCorp, you know, so it makes sense that from here we can now travel out of here and head on over to Microtech. So it makes sense then in 2nd edition of A Life Uncharted to have the 4 main landing zones, their planets, and their orbital stations unlocked. So whilst we head on out, let's make some notes. Version 2. Let's we can get rid of this because it's not working, because I haven't copied the scripts over. Start with the 4 planets, LZs, and orbital stations unlocked. Okay, cool. Moonicat, you really should start your own Zero to Hero Star Citizen. Been getting slow for me. Been mostly playing June. We were talking about June just briefly before. I was looking at it in Steam the other day. Can you get to Microtech on half a tank? Yeah. Do I have a half a tank, do I? Yeah, I guess we're going to find out. We might end up getting trapped in space. Ah, yeah, easy. Easy. All right, let's head on out. Yeah, you need them unlocked anyway because you will no doubt need to travel across them. Yeah, exactly, Ramoin. Exactly. Oh, and I need to go here anyway to deliver the shipment. All right, so can visit each mission giver location once per visit to check for contracts. Once one contract has been found at a location, no more can be assigned. So just as we did before under locations, at Lawville, we picked up a contract from New Deal. We went ahead and did that contract. It was Gilly's Flight School. We went up then to Everest Harbour. We checked the clinic. They didn't have one. We checked the traveller rentals. They didn't have any. We checked the logistics desk. They didn't have any. Then we checked the Interstellar Transport Guild, and they sent us on this current contract that we're doing. And because we picked up one, we didn't go to the admin office to go check if they had something there or over to the Easy Hub. And so what, we've been playing for, an hour and a half or so. Hour and 40 minutes. And we're on our second contract. So I like the pace. I like the pace. And there's been no imagination gameplay so far. From the perspective of, go to this location, pretend to do something, and then go to this location to finish the quest. There hasn't been any of that. We haven't at all started to look at these quests, the side quests. Let's call these side quests. Oh, we did say yesterday, I need to come up with a better term for quests. We could call these assignments. I like that. Again, quests to me is very, fantasy RPG. So I need to I need to work through more of these. Obviously, we have in the current version of A Life Uncharted, you know, all of these side quests. But getting rid of the Moby Glass, you know, random encounters, so to speak, and replacing those with guild credits. So as I go through and I complete these other normal, you know, assignments, I earn guild credits, as well as some cash buck dollary dues, like we see here, guild points. And then I can use those guild points to accept Moby Glass contracts. So this list of quests needs to be quite extensive, where each of them has, you know, some objectives and a little description where we can keep things a little narrative. It's guild affiliation. So at the moment, what do we have for our guild affiliations? Collection, hauling, bounty hunter, mercenary, and salvage at this point, at least here in Stanton. Mr. Slash, my friend, have a wonderful rest. I appreciate you tuning in for a little bit late at night for you. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the gifted sub that you gave out to Sexy Potato earlier on. As much as we carry on a little bit, I really do appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest, mate. The Sexy Potat. All right, let's head on down into this little area here. I'm pretty sure we're going to find some tundra location around the edges of these snowy landscape here. There's also the suicide mission at the bottom. Are you talking about the priority mission? But they're not constantly available, so we can't really include those. A Polaris kill in the cutter would be impressive. It would be, indeed. Oh, we can't change our scanner in the cutter. It's not working. Our scan angle. Alright, let's head on down, hey? Let's see what we find. Maybe if we come across some Marek gems or some Mareks, we'll nab those too. Some desert quasi-grazers. Yeah, so we're in the desert, hey? Tundra Copion. Let's grab ourselves some Tundra Copion while we're here. What is the zoom in, you know, hotkey? What's it called? The, you know, precision mode? It's right click, is it? Oh yeah, my mouse doesn't do anything for flight. I might need to bind it. To my sticks. Let's have a quick look, hey? Options, keybinds, advanced controls, POTAS. Vehicles, weapons. Precision lines on, off. Precision lines toggle. Is it this one? Precision, oh no, that's Pip. Gunnery UI, magnification toggle. Gunnery UI. Let's see what it says for. Can we see a right click anywhere? Mouse button 1. Vehicles targeting. Vehicles view. If anyone knows where it is in the menu, let me know. Take that, Copion. No bullets required. Yes. Should we go out unarmed? What could possibly go wrong? Everybody's dead. They don't sound dead. Storing is unavailable. Okay, let's get some armor on. Let's run back to the ship. All right, so this is a nice little example, right, of just popping down onto the planet and, you know, opportunistic sort of gameplay. We don't need these Tundra horns, but at some stage we're going to need them. So just like we did in the early days of A Life Uncharted, you know, we were just looting everything we could find, right? So at some point, these Tundra Copion horns, I'm sure, will come in useful. And given we've found some Tundra Copion, I'm sure we'll find some Quasi-Grazers shortly. And you have all that extra storage since Star Citizen ripped all the ammo off your armor. It's true. It's very true. It's cold out there. Look at this. We're just frosting up. All right, let's keep hunting for some Tundra Quasi-Grazer eggs. Desert Quasi-Grazers, some more Tundra Copion. This is a herd, man. Damn it, we've spooked them. Whoa! Can we herd him back towards the dead? Where'd he go? Must have killed him. Vehicles view precision target. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate that so much. Vehicles view precision target. Okay. Tundra quasi-grazers, please. Next on the list. Yeah, old Microtech. All right, I'm happy with the progress tonight on second edition in terms of trying to get away from that ridiculous imagination gameplay. I like the changes that that we've come up with. I like the pace in terms of what, really? My backpack is full? Man, these horns are massive. These take up huge amounts of space. Let's get a Baku. Its name looks messed up though. Okay. When we get back in the ship, we'll try and bind that. Let's get ourselves a Baku. Baku. It's time for you to head off as well, Sexy Potat. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you joining me tonight for some more random adventures and a little bit of nonsense as I explore my way through second edition of A Life Uncharted. Have a wonderful rest, mate. Look at these little berry things. When are we going to be able to harvest those little berries? I want to be able to just roam around and find things to collect. Like you can in every MMO. I don't think my front landing gear works very well. You don't think those horns are very dangerous, Alice? Because I can rip them off single-handed? Yeah, there's no little knife animation of him cutting them off, is there? See, like in many games, you'd require a knife to have to cut those off. But not Star Citizen. Maybe one day, as they continue to progress through things. 6 likes on the old YouTube tonight for this nonsense. As we work our way through unraveling second edition of A Life Uncharted. All right. There's now loads of Tundra Copion around. I remember that used to be the hardest things to find. But we have desert quasi-grazers here in the tundra, which doesn't make any sense. Maybe I've just landed in a really good spot for Tundra Copions. And we should go back and harvest them all, because next time I need to find some, you just know that they're not going to be anywhere to be found. More Tundra Copion. Whoa, that's a little close to the ground. More Tundra Copion. Rhino, my friend, how are you? Hope you're having a lovely evening. They're freaking everywhere, man. But it's not what we're looking for. You good? You're playing June at the moment? More desert quasi-grazers. Tundra Copion galore. Why are there desert quasi-grazers in the tundra? Does that mean we need to go to the desert to find Tundra quasi-grazers? How's June, Rhino? Are you enjoying it? I was looking at it the other day in my Steam. I think I might grab it. We need Marek gems. There's quite often a whole bunch of dead Mareks on the ground. Or maybe they've cleaned that up. You're loving it? A lot of us are playing on a private server. I read that, you can have a private server that still interacts with the wider sort of, player markets and all that sort of stuff. I can't see any dead ones on the ground. Yeah, I like that you can still interact with the wider community. There's one thing I don't really like about private servers is that, I don't know, it just removes you from, from the world, so to speak. And I totally understand why, people like private servers, because you don't have to deal with the regular nonsense of randoms. Freaking desert quasi-grazers, man. We're in the freaking tundra, finding loads of Tundra Copion, although maybe we were just in a really good spot and I should have spent a bunch of time there harvesting them. What's it called? Farming some Tundra Copion. Nope, here's more. Desert quasi-grazers, more of them. Some more Tundra Copion. Tundra quasi-grazers are the new Tundra Copions. Sure, I can hit them with the P4. Yeah, the birds I could shoot, but you know, I just thought it'd be nice and easy. Drop down and grab, you know, a bunch of eggs without actually having to shoot anything. Nitrado, North America East 27 server name The Ascended Nation. Only the PvE part is separated to the PvP area. That's pretty cool. Desert quasi-grazers. Frickin' stupid. Where are they, man? Where are they? Yeah, I might pick it up. Once I finish playing Hogwarts Legacy, once I finish that. Been playing so much of that again lately. Gems. And minables. What? Oh, hang on. Scanner. Nothing. Nothing. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Yeah, maybe once I finish playing Hogwarts Legacy, I'll jump into some June. Mr. Casual Butt Fun, how are you, my friend? Good evening, people of the internet. Alright, let's see if the tundra quasi-grazers are actually in the snow. Given that we found desert quasi-grazers in the tundra. What does that say? Desert quasi-grazers in the snow? Boreal quasi-grazers. Not what we're looking for, my friend. Well, this is super casual, isn't it? What have you got here? Another random unknown. Ooh. Some Dolovine, hey? And minables. It's an opportunity. Oh, I won't say no. June release in June, almost like it was planned. Alright, let's go. Mining tool on the right. Nope, that's pyramid gun. Mining tool. Looks like it. Let's go. Let's get ourselves a little bit of Dolovine. That would be nice if that was a random little bit of Hadanite. But no. You think last weekend was the wildest time of your life? Why's that, my friend? What did you get up to? These things exist. How do I scroll? Alt scroll wheel, hey? Alt scroll. Smash success. I do like how they've changed like the gems. Make them a little bit easier to see. A bit more chunky. Now, I can't ping on foot, can I? No FPS scanning. Man, hand mining, man. Another little opportunity on our quest for some freaking tundra quasi-grazers that don't exist in the tundra except for massive amounts of tundra copion. Maybe some of those spawn points are supposed to be quasi-grazers, but you know, they just got out of control because everyone was having trouble trying to find tundra copion. That they just said, make every spawn point tundra copion. And they overwrote the spawn points for the tundra quasi-grazers. I don't mind. A little bit of hand mining. Look at this, a game where you actually get to choose the shard that you play on, hey? This is where I'm playing. But I should check it out. It's been a long time since I've actually played an MMO that I enjoyed. Well, actually, it's been a long time since I played an MMO. Excuse me. And whilst I'm not sort of a Junite, so to speak, I'm not all into it. I would like to check it out. But this is the thing, right? When you play a MMO with a, you know, where you choose a specific shard and you're playing with other people, which shard do you choose? Which one are you on? The last time I actually played properly like that was with the 19th Battalion years ago. And we all know how terrible I am on my own freaking Discord about playing with people. On Friday, after 12 hours of partying in rural France, I ended up at a farmer's house drinking moonshine and firing his gun at 4 a.m. And the Saturday, I followed up by a free party where one of the music groups sing a song about drinking moonshine and firing gun in the night. I ended up dancing for 24 hours and back home on Sunday after 8 p.m. That sounds pretty crazy, man. That sounds pretty crazy. What an adventure. What an adventure. See, this is one thing that I really enjoy about A Life Uncharted is we're out here trying to find some tundra quasi-grazers, right? But because everything is so slow and progress is slow, every opportunity that you come across is an opportunity worth investigating. So, you know, most people wouldn't even stop to worry about hand binding these things. But, you know, we kind of need to. Because it's an opportunity to earn some free cash. That we've got to take advantage of because of the limitations on, you know, accessing the Moby Glass and, you know, earning quick cash, so to speak. There is no quick cash in A Life Uncharted. It is a slow burn. So what's the advantage? Do you get some sort of bonus or something if you if you pick up June before, you know, during the pre-release period? Do you get a little bonus in game? Because it's currently available pre-release on Steam, and I haven't fully checked out the page properly to see if there's a bonus. It's released now, or it's playable now, right? But it's not released. At least on my Steam account, it says pre-release. Or maybe it's been released in the last couple of days. Pre-release was 5th. Okay. Oh wow, I swear I was just looking at it 2 nights ago. Now I'm interested to see, man. Oh, release is 10th, as in today. Okay, well that makes sense then. Ah! I like how these gems are much bigger. Little chunks. Ah! Ah! June. There is. Click for details. Yeah, okay, so it did say, you know, the deluxe edition or the Awakening Ultimate Edition. June Awakening, Blue Bash, Ornithopter Swatch, June Awakening Caledon Palace Building Set. $135, $105, $75. Season passes, hey? Bit of the old hand mining. This was quite a pleasant surprise. Now if we can just freaking find those Tundra Quasi-Grazers we're looking for. Yeah, I think I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I've really been enjoying playing Hogwarts Legacy because it's an actual game, right? As much as I love Star Citizen, you know, it's nice to actually play a proper game. A released game. Well, you know, I hesitate to use the word a finished game, but a game that actually has game in it rather than just, you know, a sandbox. So maybe I should check it out. Gonna have to find the shard, right? I'm gonna have to find the shard. We'll just pick something close to us. Anyone know off the top of their head what Dolavine is worth? I like these changes to this mining tool. This is quite nice. As always, the Nomad works well as a geo platform. Oh yeah. Can even get quite a few boxes too. That's true. The Nomad and the Geo. It's going to be nice when it's available in game. 90k, hey? It's nothing. Nothing. Definitely a must-have in the ship for this type of gameplay. Any opportunity you can get to to earn them credits. See, for example, right now, what we're doing here is a sandbox activity, right? How much of this am I going to have to pay to the guild? I mean, this is an opportunity, right? I haven't gone out specifically on a rock mining expedition. I've just come across these gems as part of, you know, just adventuring around. How do I handle that, right? Because in second edition, you know, we have the Moby-Glass contracts, and then we have sanctioned guild sandbox activities. So, for example, jumping in a rock and going rock mining specifically. Here we've just come across, you know, these gems as part of our expedition to try and find some freaking tundra quasi-grazers. Is the mining guild going to take a cut of this activity? It's 120 per gem for Dolavine. Thank you, Alice. Not bad. Not bad. For a little opportunity. Move me to the big screen, Digital Moino. Who on the big screen? I've made it to the big time. I had a Windows update and a few game updates on Steam to do before I could put you on the main and only monitor. Well, thank you, my friend. I'm glad I'm the center of your attention. Oh, dear Lord, I apologize. I apologize, my friend. But I appreciate you being here with me. So, there needs to be something, right? Because otherwise we could just use this opportunity moment as an excuse to just skirt the restrictions on this type of activity. Sandbox type activity. Or I guess we could let it slide at the moment. Or instead of... Actually, this is a much better idea. Instead of being restricted to, you know, okay, let's jump in here real quick. So version 2, right? Guild contracts, sanctioned guild activities. So instead of rock mining, prospecting, salvaging being time limited, so if I wanted to do 45 minutes of rock mining, I'd need to pay 6 guild credits to do, you know, a tier 1, you know, sanctioned guild mining expedition, or 120 minutes, you know, requiring 15 guild credits for 120 minutes of sanctioned rock mining activity. I guess we can get away with all of this, right? And just worry about my guild reputation. So as an initiate member with the mining guild, which I currently am at the moment, whenever I sell whatever gems I have, I can go rock mining whenever I want. You know, I can, you know, from an opportunity perspective or from an expeditionary perspective, I'm specifically going rock mining. I can do that for as long as I want, whenever I want, right? It doesn't cost me guild credits to do it. So we can scrub this whole section here. The guild credits are simply for using the Moby-Glass. I've got to earn guild credits by doing side quests, and then I can spend those guild credits I'm earning from doing these side quests. I'm just going to rename this back to quests for the moment, side quests, because it's confusing. I can then spend those guild credits to do Moby-Glass contract missions, collections, mercenary, salvage, hauling, bounty hunters, etc. So we can get rid of this entire section here. And instead, when I sell my gems or anything that I've found along the way, the amount of money I'm going to be able to keep from the sales of those gems is based on my guild rank. So until I become a senior member of the guild, the guild's going to take 60%, 50%, 40%. And even when I'm a senior member, the guild, hang on, how is this working out here? The guild's taking 60, 50, 40. This should be 20, 80. The guild's going to take 20% and I'm going to get 80%. Time limits could be there for body-related things like sleep, bathroom, eating, etc. Hygiene gameplay, hey? Hygiene gameplay. I like that. I like that a lot more because it allows Haro. $97 gems. It allows this sort of activity, right? Opportunistic sort of activity without having to circumvent or skirt around the restrictions or limitations that I'm trying to build into the rule set. It simply applies when I go to sell my haul, i.e. the admin office or the terminal or wherever I'm trying to sell my gems. They're also somewhat influenced by the guild, and they know that they're going to have issues with the guild unless they lodge or log my sales transaction. And at that point, they are identified or informed by the guild that whoever you're trying to buy gems from or whoever is trying to sell gems to you is currently a low-ranking member of the guild, so make sure we get our cut. The guild gets their cut, not specifically from me, but from the purchaser. And I have to do that in game. Why is my collection beam no longer working? Ladies and gentlemen, our quick foray out into the world of June has stopped it working. Hand mining and rock mining is a filthy business, so I hope you're doing some cleanliness routine as well. We've run out of storage space. How? I swear we had 97 gems just before. Oh, started putting them in the core armor. All right. Back to the ship. At full speed, ladies and gentlemen. Full speed. Oh, I'm really keen to check out June now. Let's go finish up this patch. What's the time? Oh, goodness me. It's almost time to finish up. Oh, these freaking quasi-grazers, man. We might not actually be able to find some quasi-grazers. We're gonna waste our contract that we picked up, which I think is kind of nice. We have come across a couple of other opportunities as we've tried to attempt to finish that contract. So whilst we might not necessarily be able to finish the contract, we still have made some progress as a sort of a byproduct of trying to complete that contract. Specifically in terms of this Dolovine that we're mining, But also we managed to pick up some Tundra Copion horns, which at some point in the future might come in useful. But more specifically in terms of this Dolavine that we've come across. Nice little find. Again, it really reminds me of how much I'm really looking forward to there being hundreds of points of interest and just being able to fly around and explore and discover and bump into things like this. Rather than having to just be so fixated on open up the contract manager and accept another contract. Complete the contract. Open up the contract manager. Do another contract. I really am looking forward to that day. Alright, Alt scroll to control our power. Make sure it stays within those little green pips. Just on the left there. Let it blow. We just had a Google Chrome update, so I had to close YouTube for a moment. Keep your browser updated, people. Keeps all sorts of nasties at bay. Doesn't Chrome just automatically update itself? All right. I think that's our little patch of opportunity done. All right, we've got just enough time to have another blast around and see if we can find these Tundra Quasi-Grazers. It does not automatically update. All right, so let's have a quick look here. We've got 135 gems, right? $135 times 120 per gem. 16,200. The guild is going to take 60% of that. They're going to take 9,720 of it. I think it was 6, leaving us with 6,480. Because yes, sometimes when I open up my Chrome, it brings up a, you know, the latest update page. Here's the things that have been updated, and then I close that and I go into my maybe it's an option you can check to, you know, automatically update. I'm not sure. Cash buck dollary dues. So that guild tax, man, is pretty brutal. All right, and like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a little bit of time to blast around, see what we can find, see if we can find some Tundra Quasi-Grazers before A, I run out of time, or B, the sun starts setting, which it already has. Moving into forest area. $160 per gem. Very nice. More cash buck dollary dues. Scanner in the cutter is not working, or at least in the Rambler. Takamite deposit. Getting no RS values displayed. Boreal Quasi-Grazers, right? Yep. I really wish it would just show one label for a herd. Yeah, Hadnite's gone up 547 per gem. It's valuable. Not holding out much hope for these tundra quasi-grazers. They've become the new tundra copion. We're gonna have to Google. We're gonna have to YouTube how to find tundra quasi-grazers, and it's gonna say, "Go to this location and then fly here." Just like we had to do for the tundra copion. Let's get out of this snow. Bummer. I'm not saying there isn't an automatic update to the latest version, but I'm saying it does not automatically update security features, which is why I always check Chrome regularly. Ooh, interesting. Glaucosite, hey? Where is the geo? More glaucosite. Where is the geo? I like that. We found some glaucosite on Hurston as well. So as we're hunting around for all these creatures and stuff, we can use those opportunities to grab those gems. Boreal quasi-grazers. Looks like we're... Oh no, this looks like ice to me. Oh, here we go. Damn it. Desert quasi-grazers. Tundra copion. Okay, so we're back in the tundra, but there's no tundra quasi-grazers. You want 4.2 already? I'm not paying £40 for a 90k tool. Yeah, no way, man. No way. More tundra copion. More tundra copion. No tundra quasi-grazers, and it's too dark to be flying around low to the ground. It's a bummer, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bummer. Look how beautiful that looks, though. Let's sit down here on Microtech. And we shall call our adventure here for this little foray into second edition of A Life Uncharted complete. It's been useful. It's been helpful. It is an awesome sunset, Ramoyne. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so we've walked away with a few things tonight, mostly some Dolovine and a better understanding of how to get rid of this imagination type gameplay. Simply by changing it out for actual tasks and stuff that we can do using the Moby Glass. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's been absolutely, beneficial for me. It's quite nice to actually play through my ideas and concepts for second edition of A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. I appreciate you spending some of your time with me tonight. I hope that you have either a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. And I shall see everyone tomorrow. For those people who are currently playing June, I hope you enjoy it. I'll probably pick it up soon. but it's almost time to get myself some breakfast, wake the ninja up, get her ready for school, and then head off to bed. As always, thank you so much. I know Slash has already gone to bed, but a massive thank you to him again for gifting out a sub on the old Twitcheroo to the sexy Potat, who has also gone to bed. Is there a Barbary New Babbage who has that spin the wheel challenge? The mullet will remain. The mullet will remain. Commander Alice, thank you so much. Bedtime for you too. It's bedtime for people all around the world. I hope you all have a wonderful rest or a wonderful day, and I shall see everybody tomorrow. Bye.